This is an overview for using Google Apps for Education. To begin, you must have a Google Nova Scotia Public Education System email at @gnespes. If you do not have an @gnes email, you'll need to use the self-service website to create a Nespes email. So if you have a Nespes email at nspes.ca, then you automatically have a GNespes email. If you do not have a Nespes email, you'll need to use this website to get started. So if you do not have a Nespes email, but you do have a student.ednet email, you can convert your student.ednet email here by typing in your username and password, and then typing in the same username and password of your choosing to create a Nespes email address. And if you have a Nespes email address but you don't know the information for it, you can type in your student ID, your 10-digit student ID number, your date of birth, and your information, and this will take you through the process of setting up a Nespes email. Once you have a Nespes email set up, you're automatically registered with the Google system in Nova Scotia. So from there, you can simply go to, well, let's go back, you can simply go to Google and type in GNespes, and that will take us to the Nova Scotia Public Education System. And from here, you'll see the information to sign into your GNespes account. So again, I Googled GNespes and I see Google Apps for Education sign in, and that will take me to the Google Apps for Education launch page. Actually, it will ask me to sign in, which I've already done. So I'll sign in again. So let's go back. I sign in, it takes me here, I put in my credentials, and then boom. Here I am to the Google Apps for Education splash page. From here you have access to your new Gmail, which is linked to your GNespes account, your Google Drive. Any websites that you want to build, you can build in Google Sites. You'll have access to a shareable calendar, and you'll see your board logo here along with Google Docs, which is the Microsoft Word equivalent, Google Sheets, which is the Microsoft Excel equivalent, Google Slides, which is the Microsoft PowerPoint equivalent, and then also Google Drawing and Google Forms. To begin, let's take a look at Google Drive. This is usually where I suggest people begin. Google Drive is where you can save all of your files on the cloud storage. This way you will not be linked directly to one computer. Rather, you'll be able to use any computer and access your files. So whether you're at school and you can't use the same computer as yesterday, or if you're at home, or even on your mobile device, you can log in and have access to all of your files. So a little overview on the left side here, you can see my drive and a drop down with all the folders in my drive, and I can drop down and see other folders within those folders. I can see documents that are shared with me that others have created and have shared. I can take a look at documents that I'm working on recently that I have starred, so I can have quick access to them. And I can take a look over here on the right at a few of the different tools. One tool is the grid view as opposed to the list view. I prefer the list view myself, but if you like the idea of having a grid of folders and files, you can set it up that way. You can organize your files alphabetically or different sort options. You can see details of your account activity, when you last logged in, things that you've done, added and subtracted. And in the cogwheel you have some settings. So one setting that I recommend using is in the general settings area, converting uploads. If you have this box checked, then anything that you upload into Google Drive will automatically convert to become a Google editable file. So that means if I take my file that's on my desktop and I drag it into from the desktop into my browser, you can see that it's getting ready to upload. Drop your files to instantly upload them. And even though this is an Excel file, when it's finished uploading, it uploads as a Google Sheets full file. So I can then open this and edit it directly in Google Drive, in Google Sheets. You'll see when you have no files selected that the options there are just these four. If I were to select a file, I get some new options pop up here. One is to get a shareable link, and that link can be shared among students or with your teacher. And that link is only for specific people, so only people who have access to that link. And you can set the share settings there. You can also share within the GNESPES network, and you can tell people how you want them to have access. Maybe you just want them to see your work, maybe you want them to be able to comment on your work, or maybe you want them to be able to edit your work if you're collaborating. I can see my link here. I can add in a name. If I type in a name of a colleague, it will pop up the different names, and I can select that person and use them that way. Or if I know their specific email address, I can use that as well. Right now, I'm the only person that has access to this. There are other options that you can select from as well. I can do quick look preview of my files. So if I were to go into a folder here and I wanted to take a quick look at what this file is to remind myself, oh yes, this is the presentation that I was creating on Google Apps for Education. Oops, that was a quick look of that one file. And I can flip through the slides of how to work with Google Drive in presentations that I was creating. And again, I can download this file from here. I can share it. I have more actions. I can remove my star. This is one of the options. I can rename my file, report abuse. I can share it out this way, pop it out, whatever. So let's go back to my main drive, and I'm going to click on this file, and I don't actually want this file to be in my Google Drive, so I'm simply going to remove it. And from there it's gone. If I look at my trash, I should see that that file is here. This is the second time I'm recording this, so you can see that it's here twice. And they will save in your trash indefinitely as far as I can tell, but there should be options in here for you to empty your trash. Delete forever. So if I right click on a file and if I highlight all these and right click, I can delete forever, or I can restore them to my folder. So things that are deleted are not gone forever, but let's say for instance I want to delete these ones forever and they're gone. So we'll never see those again. So that's Google Drive. This is again where you can store all of your documents. If I wanted to create a new file, I can do file upload or create a new folder in my drive, or I can take a look at the different products that Google offers. So Google Docs, we'll take a look at that really quickly. This is the Microsoft Word equivalent, and as you can see, it looks very similar to what you expect a word processor to look like. I usually suggest beginning in the top left by naming your document. Name this doc. And you'll have access to all sorts of different options here. You can change font sizes, you can change font colors, you can justify, you can change the text, and you can type title of my paper. And then off you go. And you can write away. Again, you'll see, just like Microsoft Word, it'll put a red underline for words that you misspelled, and it'll give you an option if you right-click to fix that spelling. And from here, I can share this document. So right now you can see it's set private only to me. Same sharing that I had in Google Drive. I can enter names of people who I want to be able to edit it, or I can get a shareable link and it says right here, anyone in the GNESPES network can view this. And if I want to change that, I can say anyone can edit or comment. Or if I'm trying to share it with someone who's not part of the GNESPES network, I can say anyone with this link, no sign-in required, will be able to see it, or anyone on the internet, and that's very public. So generally, if I was going to share with someone outside of our network, I would probably suggest using this one so that they have to have the specific link. And then I can, again, select how I want them to be able to access the document. I save that, and if I click and copy, then I've got a link that's ready to go. I can set other settings, including preventing editors from changing access or adding new people, which might be helpful if you don't want your documents to go too far abroad. And I can disable options for downloads if I don't want that either. Then I'm done. That link is ready to go, and if I go ahead and open my email, I can email that link, and that link is ready to be shared. That's what my link looks like. If I come back over, one thing that I will note with Google is each time you open something new, it takes you to a new tab. So you can see all these tabs creating in my toolbar. If I click over here, it'll take me to just my docs home. It's not my Google Drive, but it's just showing me all of my docs, all of the docs that I'm using in my profile. And again, if I wanted to go back in, I double click and here's my paper. And I can come back over to Drive and I can create a new, let's do Google Slides because it'll probably be the next most helpful one. And this is like Google or like Microsoft PowerPoint. And you can select themes of how you want your slides to look, right? And once you've got a theme set, it's ready to go, and I can do this is my work, subtitle. It's great. I can insert a, let's see here, insert a new slide by clicking on the plus button or dropping down the little arrow beside the plus button and seeing all the different options that I have. Slide 2. And you can see that we're getting a little preview of all the slides under here. If I just hit the plus button, it will continue to add the same slide over and over again. If I want to change the style of the slides, I can drop that arrow down and I can move those slides around so that they're in the order that I want them to be. And if I want to delete slides or change layouts for a slide, I can do it by right-clicking, and you'll see that those slides will then change. So that's a quick overview of Google Slides, Google Docs, and hopefully it will help you get on track using Google Apps for Education.